Welcome to Chapter 5, where we explore how behavioral economics can drive sustainable decision-making in the circular economy. This chapter highlights the importance of understanding human psychology and organizational culture, not just technology, for successful circular economy transformation. We will see how shifting mindsets, values, and behaviors at both individual and organizational levels is essential for lasting change. By the end, you'll understand the core concepts, drivers, and practical frameworks for embedding circular principles into everyday decisions and organizational strategies. In this chapter, we will examine the foundations of the circular economy and behavioral economics, explore psychological and social influences on organizational change, discuss key behavioral economics concepts for circular economy adoption, review behavioral interventions and stakeholder engagement, analyze the role of organizational culture, address barriers to transformation, and conclude with case studies and a summary of behavioral economics' impact on circular economy strategies. Foundations of circular economy and behavioral economics. The circular economy is a response to growing resource depletion and environmental challenges. It aims to minimize waste and maximize the value of resources by keeping materials in use for as long as possible. However, achieving true sustainability is not just about developing new technologies. It requires a fundamental shift in human behavior and mindset. Organizations must focus on developing a culture that supports innovation and embraces change. This means rethinking how we design, produce, and consume goods, and recognizing that people's attitudes and habits are just as important as technical solutions. By integrating human factors, such as motivation, values, and social norms, organizations can unlock the full potential of circular solutions. Only when technology and culture work together can we achieve meaningful, lasting change and make the circular economy a reality. Transitioning to a circular economy is not a one-time event but a continuous process of adaptation and learning. Organizations must regularly reassess their actions, challenge existing paradigms, and redesign structures and procedures to align with circular principles. At the organizational level, this transformation involves redefining the company's purpose, structure, shared values, and beliefs. At the functional level, it requires modifying day-to-day processes and systems to support circular goals. Behavioral economics plays a crucial role by providing insights into how psychological and social factors influence decision-making. Understanding these influences helps organizations design strategies that encourage sustainable choices and overcome resistance to change. By addressing both organizational and functional aspects, and leveraging behavioral insights, companies can create an environment where circular economy practices are embedded in every part of the business. Lasting change in the circular economy requires more than just new technologies or management systems. It demands a fundamental shift in organizational culture. Traditional ways of thinking and operating must be challenged to foster a culture of innovation and openness to new ideas. This involves changing shared values, cognitive frames, and even emotional attachments to the organization's identity. Both the organizational and individual levels are important. Each can either support or hinder the transition to circular economy practices. For example, if employees feel connected to the organization's sustainability vision, they are more likely to embrace new ways of working. Conversely, if old habits and beliefs persist, they can slow down or block progress. By integrating human factors and focusing on cultural transformation, organizations can create the right environment for circular economy solutions to thrive. Psychological and social influences on organizational change. Deep organizational change rarely comes from top-down mandates or formal instructions alone. While leadership can set the direction, meaningful transformation usually emerges from a web of influences, including experiential learning and shared interpretations within groups. Employees learn and adapt through their own experiences and by interacting with peers, subordinates, and external networks. These sensing processes are critical. They help people pick up on cues from leadership and the broader environment, shaping their motivation to change. Experiential learning allows employees to internalize new values and practices, making change more sustainable. When people see the benefits of circular economy practices firsthand, or when they are involved in problem solving and innovation, they are more likely to support and sustain change. Thus, successful circular economy transformation depends on creating opportunities for learning, collaboration, and shared understanding at all levels of the organization. Hierarchical commands alone have limited impact on deep cultural transformation. Instead, real change is shaped by personal and group learning, often through interactions with peers and networks. Employees respond to leadership cues, but it is the ongoing process of sensing, interpreting, and adapting that drives motivation and innovation. These motivational dynamics are essential for embedding circular economy principles into organizational culture. When employees are encouraged to experiment, share ideas, and learn from each other, they become more engaged and committed to sustainability goals. This approach fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility, making it easier to implement new business models and practices. By focusing on experiential and social learning, organizations can create a culture that supports continuous improvement and adaptation, which is vital for the success of circular economy initiatives. Lasting adoption of the circular economy requires challenging traditional organizational cultures and fostering innovation beyond technology and management systems. Transitioning to circular governance involves shifting cognitive frames, shared values, and emotional attachments to identity. Organizational and individual levels are deeply interconnected. Each can act as a barrier or an enabler for circular economy adoption. For example, if an organization values sustainability and encourages learning, individuals are more likely to adopt new behaviors. Conversely, if individuals resist change, it can slow down organizational progress. Embedding circular economy principles means critically evaluating and modifying existing norms, tools, and sustainability indicators. This ensures that both the organization and its people are aligned with circular goals, making the transition smoother and more effective. Key concepts in behavioral economics for circular economy. Behavioral economics offers powerful tools for promoting sustainable behavior in the circular economy. One key concept is nudging, which involves subtly guiding people toward desired actions without restricting their freedom of choice. For example, placing recycling bins in convenient locations encourages people to recycle more. Incentives, such as financial rewards or social recognition, can also motivate individuals and organizations to adopt sustainable habits, like conserving energy during peak times. However, cognitive biases can hinder progress. The status quo bias, for instance, makes people reluctant to move away from traditional, linear economic models, even when better options are available. By understanding these behavioral drivers and barriers, organizations and policymakers can design interventions that make sustainable choices easier and more attractive. This approach helps bridge the gap between awareness and action, making circular economy practices more accessible and effective. Traditional environmental policies have relied heavily on financial incentives and penalties to encourage compliance and reduce harm. While these methods can be effective to some extent, recent research shows they are often only partially successful in achieving environmental goals. Behavioral interventions, such as nudges, offer a complementary approach. These strategies use information, social norms, and default settings to encourage eco-friendly behavior without restricting choice. For example, Making recycling the default option or providing clear information about the benefits of sustainable actions can significantly increase participation. Integrating behavioral insights with traditional regulatory tools creates a more nuanced and effective policy mix. This combination addresses both the rational and emotional aspects of decision-making, leading to more sustainable outcomes and greater public engagement in circular economy initiatives. Traditional environmental policies have focused on financial incentives and penalties to enforce compliance, but these approaches are only partially effective in changing behavior. Behavioral insights, such as providing clear information, activating social norms, and setting default rules, have proven to be powerful tools for influencing consumption patterns. For example, people are more likely to recycle if they see their peers doing it or if recycling is the default option. Integrating these behavioral interventions with traditional regulations enhances the effectiveness of sustainability efforts. This comprehensive approach recognizes that people are not always rational decision makers and that psychological, social, and emotional factors play a significant role. By combining behavioral and traditional tools, policymakers can create more effective strategies for promoting circular economy practices and achieving long-term environmental goals. Behavioral interventions and stakeholder engagement in CE. Effective circular economy strategies must be designed with human behavior in mind. A robust theoretical framework for circular economy transition includes 5 key building blocks: mindsets, values, behaviors, capabilities, and competences. Psychological barriers, such as the perception of sunk costs or limited cognitive capacity, can prevent individuals from adopting circular practices. Social influence is also crucial. Peers, family members, and public figures can help overcome these barriers and raise awareness about the benefits of the circular economy. Engaging all stakeholders, including businesses, consumers, policymakers, suppliers, and industry networks, is essential for success. By understanding and addressing the psychological and social factors that shape behavior, organizations can design interventions, such as education, incentives, and targeted communication, that make it easier for people to adopt sustainable habits. This approach ensures that circular economy initiatives are not only technically sound but also widely accepted and effective. The transition to a circular economy is guided by a framework built on 5 essential elements: mindsets, values, behaviors, capabilities, and competencies. Each of these building blocks plays a critical role in shaping how individuals and organizations approach sustainability. Psychological barriers, like the perception of sunk costs or limited cognitive capacity, can make it difficult for people to change their habits. However, social influence, from peers, family, and public figures, can help overcome these obstacles and increase awareness of circular economy principles. Engaging all stakeholders, including businesses, consumers, policymakers, and networks, is vital for successful implementation. By focusing on these 5 building blocks and addressing both psychological and social factors, organizations can create a supportive environment for circular economy practices to take root and flourish. The successful transition to a circular economy depends on more than just technical solutions. It requires a cultural shift guided by 5 building blocks: mindsets, values, behaviors, capabilities, and competencies. Psychological barriers, such as sunk cost perceptions and limited cognitive capacity, can hinder adoption. Social influence is a powerful force. Peers, family, and public figures can help individuals overcome these barriers and raise awareness about circular economy practices. Active engagement of all stakeholders, businesses, consumers, policymakers, and networks, is essential for driving change. By fostering collaboration and leveraging social influence, organizations can create a culture that supports continuous learning and adaptation, making it easier to implement and sustain circular economy initiatives. Organizational culture as a catalyst for circular economy adoption. Corporate values form the foundation for sustainable decision-making, ensuring that business activities align with circular economy principles. These values guide both daily operations and long-term strategies, fostering a culture where resource efficiency and environmental responsibility are prioritized. Leadership plays a crucial role in driving innovation and steering the organization towards sustainability goals. Leaders who model sustainable behaviors and communicate a clear vision inspire teams to embrace change and make sustainability part of the organizational mindset. Employee engagement is equally important. Engaged employees contribute ideas, show commitment to sustainability initiatives, and help drive transformation. Empowering staff through involvement and training strengthens engagement and supports the shift to a circular economy. By aligning values, leadership, and employee engagement, organizations can create a strong foundation for lasting change. Strong leadership is essential for promoting sustainability and championing circular economy principles within organizations. Leaders who advocate for sustainability inspire innovative solutions and foster long-term commitment to environmental goals. By clearly communicating the vision and modeling sustainable behaviors, leaders help embed these values throughout the organization. Effective leadership also encourages participatory decision-making and supports training programs, empowering employees to actively contribute to sustainable practices. This approach builds a culture of innovation and commitment, making it easier to implement and sustain circular economy initiatives. When leadership, vision, and employee engagement are aligned, organizations are better equipped to navigate the challenges of transformation and achieve their sustainability objectives. Engaged employees are vital for implementing sustainable practices and achieving organizational sustainability goals. When employees are involved in decision-making, they feel a greater sense of ownership and responsibility, which increases the effectiveness of sustainability initiatives. Training programs equip staff with the skills and knowledge needed to support and advance sustainable practices. Recognizing and empowering employees to take initiative fosters motivation and accelerates the adoption of sustainability goals. Open communication channels encourage the sharing of ideas and feedback, helping to identify opportunities for improvement and ensuring broad support for sustainability efforts. By prioritizing employee engagement and participatory decision-making, organizations can build a strong, committed workforce that drives the transition to a circular economy. Shared values within organizations are the foundation for strong commitment to circular models and sustainable practices. When teams are united around common sustainability goals, it becomes easier to drive change and embed circular economy principles into daily operations. Values and norms play a crucial role in shaping organizational culture, going beyond technological upgrades to support lasting transformation. When values are shared, they help align the organization's identity and vision, making it easier to implement new practices and sustain long-term commitment to sustainability. A strong foundation of shared values ensures that change is not just a one-time effort but an ongoing organizational priority, supporting continuous improvement and adaptation in the journey toward a circular economy. Cyclical approach and barriers to CE transformation. Technological advancements and new business models alone have not been enough to reduce waste or consumption effectively. For real progress in sustainability and circular economy adoption, a fundamental change in societal values is needed. People may recognize the importance of the circular economy, but this awareness often does not translate into action. Organizations with adaptive cultures and openness to change are better able to integrate circular economy principles, promoting continuous learning and improvement. To achieve meaningful change, it is essential to address the gap between awareness and behavior, encourage value shifts at both the societal and organizational levels, and create environments that support ongoing adaptation and learning. Technological advancements alone have not effectively reduced waste or consumption levels globally. A shift in societal values is essential for meaningful progress in sustainability and circular economy adoption. While people often recognize environmental issues on a global scale, they may lack urgency or action in their local context. This gap between awareness and action can slow down the adoption of circular economy practices. Organizations with adaptive cultures and openness to change are better equipped to integrate circular economy principles, supporting ongoing improvement and adaptation. By fostering awareness and encouraging value shifts, both individuals and organizations can contribute to more effective and lasting change. Advances in technology and business models have not been sufficient to reduce consumption and waste levels. A fundamental change in societal values is needed to support pro-environmental actions and the adoption of circular economy principles. Awareness of circular economy strategies is important, but it does not always lead to immediate behavioral change. Organizations that cultivate adaptive cultures and openness to change experience smoother integration of circular economy practices. Continuous learning and improvement are essential for sustaining progress and ensuring that circular economy initiatives remain effective over time. By fostering a culture of learning and adaptation, organizations can better navigate the challenges of transformation and achieve long-term sustainability goals. Case studies. Behavioral interventions in European waste segregation. European countries have successfully implemented behavioral interventions to improve waste segregation and recycling rates. Community-driven programs encourage responsible waste disposal and foster widespread participation in recycling efforts. These initiatives have led to increased public awareness and more effective sorting of recyclable materials, supporting circular economy goals. For example, public campaigns, convenient recycling infrastructure, and incentive programs have all contributed to higher recycling rates and reduced waste. These case studies demonstrate the power of behavioral economics in driving sustainable change and highlight the importance of engaging communities and stakeholders in the transition to a circular economy. Sweden's pay-as-you-throw system is a practical example of how behavioral interventions can support circular economy objectives. This system charges residents based on the amount of non-recyclable waste they produce, creating a direct financial incentive to reduce waste and recycle more. As a result, individuals are encouraged to separate their waste more carefully and make environmentally responsible choices. Similar systems, such as Finland's Bottle and Can Refund program, offer monetary rewards for returning recyclable containers, further motivating recycling and resource reuse. These approaches show how well-designed behavioral interventions can lead to measurable improvements in waste management and support the broader goals of the circular economy. Summary of behavioral economics impact on CE. A successful transition to the circular economy requires more than just structural reforms or technological upgrades. Embedding behavioral insights into strategies makes sustainability efforts more effective and inclusive. Organizational culture, built on shared values, clear leadership vision, and active employee engagement, is essential for driving transformation. Behavioral interventions, such as nudging, incentives, and reframing defaults, complement traditional approaches, making it easier for people to adopt sustainable practices. Fostering a learning-oriented environment ensures resilience and long-term success, as organizations continuously adapt to new challenges and opportunities. By integrating behavioral economics into circular economy strategies, organizations can create more inclusive, context-sensitive, and effective pathways to sustainability, ensuring that change is both meaningful and lasting. A strong organizational culture shapes sustainability practices and encourages resource-efficient behaviors, laying the foundation for successful circular economy transformation. Social influences, such as peer support, leadership, and collective identity, drive collective action and help organizations transition to circular economy models. Applying behavioral insights enables organizations to identify and address psychological and cultural barriers, making sustainability strategies more effective and inclusive. Fostering a learning-oriented environment ensures resilience and long-term success in circular economy initiatives, supporting ongoing improvement and adaptation. Thank you for your attention. Next, we continue with Module 2, Chapter 6,